Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my lovely, lovable co-host, Sarah. Sarah, how are you today?
Well, I've been having a day, but I feel like Danny and I got into it on the Patreon. Not quite ready to do that again.
Guys, there may have been a double cry on
Very
the
elusive.
Patreon. Yes, epic. Please rate, review, subscribe, join us on Patreon. You know, it's a wild ride if you're willing to buckle in, folks. So we're almost at, I think we're at 80.
It was kind of fun though, because like then we just got like really wacky.
It was good because I think, you know, last episode we were in a funk. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Yeah, the vibes
were off. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be transparent about what happened on the last episode. I went off on, you know, I had used the word abuse to describe the parents that wanted to take their little RV trip instead of letting their daughter live at the house. And that upset some people. And then I went the fuck off like a crazy person for like 10 minutes about it. And Sarah was pretty much done talking about it. And y'all didn't hear that because I edited it out. Because I was like, you know what? I think they had enough. They had enough. So anyway, I only really say this because we got this review, and I want to say this to defend Sarah. I think I killed the.
Oh, that's so nice of you. You did not.
I killed the vibe. I think it was a vibe killer. But yeah, what did the review say, Sarah?
It just said like the subject was like Sarah is kind of annoying, and then the actual body of it was like Sarah is really annoying this episode or something like that. And what actually bothered me more is that they spelled my name correctly in the subject line and then incorrectly in the body.
Wow. It's like, do you know it? Do you not know it? What's the problem here?
You know, Sarah with an H is annoying. Fuck that bitch. Yes, I don't know who she is. That's not me.
It's good though.
I think it's because we said that we're not reading the reviews, so they're like, I need to make sure this gets to them. But I do feel like we've done like 200 episodes or something. So I think that's a pretty good track record. One in at least 100.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm annoying. I mean, fuck. I mean, come on. Everyone's annoying at some point. You know, we're trying to put on a show. I'm trying to come up with juice for you guys. And instead, all I have is a story about some soft Karening I did. My coworker, my colleague, my friend said, you got to get open back headphones. I said, I'll do that. Sure.
What is that?
I don't know. It's like a kind of headphone that supposedly sounds way better. So
okay.
I go to this website, and you know what? I am going to drop their name because I am happy with the experience. Drop.com. Sure. Why not, people?
It's called drop.com?
It's called drop.com. So I buy the headphones, and they're like, you know, $170. And then I'm going to check on my order, and of course, it's not Amazon. So can you imagine waiting something to ship like for a week? It's sickening. It's like, what is going on?
Oh my God, like a plebeian?
Yes. What year is it? What is a horse running it across the country? Get it here, folks. So I go on to yeoldrop.com and they say now the price is $140, and I was pretty pissed.
Oh, I would be annoyed.
I was pissed. I was like, well, how dare you? How dare you? See, if you had shipped it fast, I wouldn't have checked, but now I'm here and I'm angry. So I 1-star reviewed them. And customer supported. I actually dinged the headphones, which I know isn't really fair, but I was like, I'm pissed, so I'm doing damage.
Okay.
And I think what was funny here, who are these people? This is a question. First of all, what kind of horrible person leaves a review? That's me. I know that person.
I'm also like, why didn't you just reach out to customer service before you left a bad review?
I did both because I was angry. That's why I did it. And it was impulsive and it was a waste of time. But here's my real question. I said, in my review, the price dropped. This is an awful user experience. Griff City won't be back. And a gentleman.
Griff City!
And some gentleman, funny. This is what I'm fascinated by. He is one of those guys who has sunglasses in his picture. So he's like one of those guys.
So he's a cool guy.
He writes, prices on items do fluctuate. What? Do you work for the drop? He doesn't even work for drop.com. I'm looking at his profile. He's just a guy. I'm like, what is your business here, sir?
That is so funny.
I said, great.
He's trying to dunk on you.
Right? I said, great. Drop.com should refund their users. Simple. He goes, that's not how retail works, unfortunately. I said, and this is where I got pissed. You ever write a review on a comment and you're like, this is so good. I'm about to get, what are you going to get? You're getting nothing. You're getting nothing out of this. You're wasting your life. I said, LOL, okay, devastating. Not only is it how retail works, Google price adjustment, it's a drop-down option on drop.com CS form, hoping this will be resolved quickly and I can update this review. And I got to give this guy credit. He said, good luck.
Okay.
It got 4 upvotes.
That's so funny that you got into like a little comment war.
It was a little comment war. Then this, by the way, guys, I realize this story isn't that good. I checked my Chase. I got the $30 refunded.
Great.
Today, I just got a notification. Sean just commented on the thread. He says, a roller coaster of emotions, to say the least.
That is so funny. I mean, I definitely think that, like my mom does this all the time at Macy's. Like she'll keep something and then if it goes on sale, like she keeps the tags on it. If she hasn't worn it yet, she'll return it and buy it back for the lower price. I definitely think it's annoying since it hadn't even shipped to you yet. So it's like you basically didn't buy it yet almost, but they have your money. The same thing happened to me. I rejoined a gym because I'm like, all right, it's getting cold. I can't take it anymore. I can't do another winter doing burpees in my 5x7 office. So I joined a gym.
Right.
I got 1 month free. I was like, this is pretty good. In the back of my head, I was like, I should wait until November because they'll probably do some like end of the year kind of deals. But honestly, the weather just started getting cold, and I was like, I can't hold out. And sure enough, I fucking go today, and the sign is like, oh, pay no membership fees until January 2022. And I'm like, God damn it, I joined this like a week and a half ago.
That's so frustrating. Yeah, I mean...
So annoying.
It's generally a policy. This guy is exactly wrong, by the way. It is generally a policy that within 2 weeks to 30 days, if there is a price adjustment or a special, that they will accommodate you because it's a bad experience, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's just retail. And you could be annoying and like return the item and buy it back, but usually they'll just do that for you so you don't have to bother them.
And guys, be annoying. It's your money. Like, don't be an asshole to the person helping you. You know, I was an asshole to anybody.
Yeah, and not to like a small business owner, but
yeah, just be like, look,
it's
I'm
a huge
frustrated.
company. Just like, yeah, just be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease.
Always get your money. What else happened to me? Speaking of annoying things, I go to use the shower. I am a person who showers. I slept with gel in my hair, so I got like nasty hair. Turn on my shower and no water comes out. I'm like, what the heck is this?
It's annoying.
They turned off the water in my building for like 6 hours.
Oh, that would kill me. I drink so much water.
I was fortunate enough to have some storage of water, but I was like, yeah, guys, that's an email. That is an email.
Yeah,
you don't just
1,000,000,000%.
turn
You
off.
can't just do that.
Right? Because then I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what's going on? There's no information. Like, hello?
Yeah.
So I'm getting super.
That's terrible.
Right? And like, come on, put it together. But it reminded me, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I used to live in a really, okay, I don't want to build it up too much, but I used to live in this really fancy building, you know.
I can confirm it was very fancy.
Very fancy. I lived on the 36th floor. Trust me, y'all, I did not pay the rent in this building. Anyway, it's called, I'm not going to name the building, but whatever. It was part of a group of people who would want to be identified as kings and aristocracy. We'll leave it at that. And
what?
Because the name of the building was like the King's Lair or whatever, you get it.
Oh,
it was like
I never even noticed that.
Mad douchey. Yeah, it was super douchey. So anyway, they would send building kind of notifications out, but the way they did this was absolutely insane and possibly criminal. They would send you an email with no subject, so it would be like no subject. You're like, okay, what's this? You open it, guess what? There's no body text either. There's a PDF. What is the PDF? Okay, so you open the PDF, which by the way, the name of the PDF would be like 47983 PDF, and you're like, what the fuck?
Oh, I'm not opening that shit.
Exactly.
That's a virus. What are you talking about?
I know, right? I only opened it because I knew the guy. So you open the PDF, and then it is a scan of a fax. A scan of a fax that just utterly destroyed, like on letterhead that, like, honestly, Christ wouldn't have even used because it was already old back then. Ancient letterhead, and then the message would literally be like, oh, the water's going to be off for 2 hours today. And you're like, I had to do 17 clicks.
What kind of, like, freaking medieval ass system is this?
I know, right? Like, why don't you just launch this message into my apartment using a trebuchet? This is absurd. Is that how you say that? Trebuchet? I've never said it out loud.
That's how I think you'd pronounce it.
Trebucket?
I don't know
how you say it.
No, I think you got it right the first time.
Anyway, that's my update. Sarah, you got any updates for us?
Well, I had my birthday over the week and last weekend. It was pretty good.
Oh my God, I don't
a fun time.
feel like I texted you on your birthday.
No, I'm like pretty confident that you did. It was on Friday.
I did actually. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, no, you definitely did.
Well, I'll be in the city. I'd love to take you out to a dinner or some kind of outing because happy birthday. It was your 30th birthday.
It was a good time. Got a bunch of people on a roof.
That's great. That
was cool. I made the mistake of putting the whole bill on my card and having people Venmo me, and I'm out so much money, but that's fine.
Yikes.
I honestly anticipated that was going to be the case, and I was kind of like, you know what? I don't want to be like I could have been like, everybody come, but like you have to Venmo me this much money beforehand, but I just didn't want to do that. I just wanted people to come. And they did. Well, so I'm cool with it. It's just money. I'll make more.
I say it's worth it, you know. And also, I just thought of this, since you are a triplet, that you guys, your actual next special birthday, you might think it's 35 or 40. Wrong.
33.
It's 33 and 4 months. Wow. Did you already see this?
33. I didn't see the 4 month thing.
33 and 4 months. You and your triplets should gather, and you should circle your arms and form a little circle, and then you should slowly chant 100, 100.
I was gonna say, are you like reading this off an astrology website right now, or like you're just making it up?
If you do this, you will merge and become a one plit. Okay, this joke ran out of steam, but anyway.
You had me there for a second. But no, that 33rd birthday will be fun, I think.
That is fun.
I don't think we'll all be together for it, but like, I guess you never know. But, you know, maybe we could do a little cute thing.
Very cute. Love it.
Yeah.
You know what else is
nice.
cute? Guess the verdict, folks. Please rate, review, and subscribe.
Oh,
Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. I think we got like 86 bonus episodes, 86 hours.
Damn.
Of extra Danny and Sarah, which, you know, that might be honestly too much for some of you, but some of these people love it, guys. So it's there. And also we got our little, Sarah will be doing stand up again. Do we have that? Do we have that on the record?
Oh, I'll do it again, but it can't be until like mid to late November.
Yeah. So we've got more stand-up shows, our Zoom happy hours, our WhatsApp. It's a vibrant community, and we really do love to see it. Big ups to our new patrons, Megan, Caitlin, Lanny, and Whitney. Welcome to the Patreon. All right, let's GTV it up, people. AITA for buying my son a Halloween costume.
Wait, didn't I do this already? It was like the son really wanted to be a unicorn, and the dad was like, no.
Okay.
And so the mom bought him one anyway. Okay, so I think it wasn't ESH, if it's that one.
Are you going ESH?
Yes.
ESH is correct. That is the situation. Wow, I guess I forgot that you said this. Pretty interesting.
All good.
Wow, I guess I'm getting old here. Yeah, OP was 34F, husband 35M. They got a 5-year-old together. Husband was raised in a family where boys play with cars and girls with dolls. But, you know, the son really wanted the unicorn. We already did this on an episode. Now I'm like embarrassed. Gosh.
I just did it for a Guess the Verdict. Don't worry.
And I must have missed it. I must have forgotten it.
Yeah, I mean, we do so many.
Gosh, I'm embarrassed. RB2012-1327 writes ESH. This will turn into a thread about gender norms. But really, the issue is you and your husband don't know how to discuss and resolve your differences in parenting. Buying a unicorn suit for your kid isn't fixing anything.
Yeah, true.
I agree with that, but I also don't agree with the last part. Like, that's what the kid wants. I think it matters how the kid feels. That's part of it. But yeah, it is probably not the best way to handle this in terms of maintaining the relationship. So interesting.
Yeah,
search.
I think it's just going to create a lot of problems if like, I mean, it's good undermining, I think, but it's also still undermining. So I don't think that's great.
I don't know. It's weird to me, though, to be like, oh, unicorns are girls. It's like,
yeah, it's really stupid.
Yes. I mean, a princess, I would understand the objection better, but I'm like, it's a mythical animal. Is it a girl unicorn? I don't know. It just doesn't really add up to me, but whatever.
I mean, it has like a giant phallic thing on its forehead. So
it's literally a penis horse. It's a penis horse. All right. Anyway.
Come on, people. Read between the lines. Oh, okay. Would I be the asshole for not protecting my wife at a haunted house this weekend?
Oh boy, protecting. I feel like that's ridiculous. Was there a literal murderer? No, I feel like this got rounded up somehow.
It's one of those where you sign a waiver and they're like, just so you know, we probably will murder you.
Yeah,
and it costs $40 to get in.
To get murdered. Yeah, I'm kind of between NAH and NTA, but I'm gonna go NAH.
I would think so too. I mean, this pretty short and sweet situation. Bunch of married friends are going to a haunted house. The wife dislikes everything creepy or scary and continue to make comments like, oh, are you going to protect me? Will you keep me safe? Blah, blah, blah. He's kind of like, I don't feel like I need to protect you. You should overcome this irrational fear. So the top comment from Swoontastic was, YTA, this has nothing to do with strength. Oh, because OP mentioned that the wife is stronger than him. This has nothing to do with strength and everything to do with your inability to be supportive of your wife. SMFH. That was tough for me at the end.
Okay, yeah, I mean...
I am like, I don't know if I kind of agree. I don't really agree. I'm like, don't go to a haunted house. And like, if you're going to be fucking scared of the haunted house, like, just don't go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like supportive. It sounds like she's being kind of annoying. Why is she there if she's going to complain the whole time? I don't know. I don't know enough, really.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was a really short situation. I don't have many more details than that. It's just like, don't go if you're going to be doing something you don't like and you're like forcing your husband to like be in the situation of, oh, you got to protect me, you know? So
AITA. So it's 0 to 1. AITA for not letting a bleeding woman in my house at 3 a.m.
Ooh. Bleeding woman into the house. Ooh. It's tough because, like, that could be a ruse to then case your house. Or she could have really been in trouble. Hopefully, I'm going to assume that the OP offered her some kind of assistance. So I'm going to go with NTA.
NTA is wrong.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get it. Man, I thought you were about to blow me out. Yeah, so basically the story pretty much is that where OP starts to get guilty. You know, this girl's knocking on the door. He's like, I don't know what's going on. It's 3 a.m. I'm not going to just let you in. She's like, please turn off the porch light. He's like, I'm calling the cops. He calls the cops. Mm-hmm. They come, kind of pull her away from the house, and then he kind of goes outside and there's blood all over. She's walking barefoot on the gravel, and
Whoa.
OP feels really bad because he overhears that she's 16.
Whoa.
So, you know, I think it's interesting. The top verdict was no assholes here. She didn't tell you who she was, what happened.
Yeah, I was torn between that or like it really was a ruse and she went like, I can't believe you did this. That was kind of where I went with my logic.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, I think here's what I'll say.
Wow.
Sometimes
that's tough.
When it's 3 a.m., folks, it's a different world out there. If it's 3 p.m. and somebody comes up to your house and you see their car just got hit and they're like mangled, obviously no brainer city. But like when you're vulnerable, I really got no judgment for someone who's vulnerable and afraid. Like if it comes from some kind of internalized thing, like an ism of sorts, fine. But like in general, I'm like, no, you need to protect yourself, and it doesn't make you an asshole if you erred on the side of caution. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if he slammed the door and just like shut the blinds and went back to bed, but he did get help in some way.
Right. Like I'm trying to think of another situation, like, you know, you're in the middle of like a dense forest and then you pass and you're a woman driving at night and you see a guy stranded on the side of the road and he needs help, you know,
yeah, no, I'm not
you're
stopping.
going,
I'm not like letting a strange person into my car.
Of course. And I think that's perfectly valid. That said, I do think it would be nice of you to, at the next convenience store, maybe try to get someone else to go over there. Just try to do something for this poor sap and assume, you know, that there really is a problem, or, you know, try to be helpful, but it doesn't make you an asshole to not endanger yourself because it's you're in a vulnerable position.
Agree. Yeah, that's a good no assholes here. Okay, rounding it out with AITA for being upset my boyfriend is traveling.
I mean, it seems so obvious. Would you really hand me an obvious one? Maybe you would. YTA.
Ooh, I would think that too, but unfortunately, here's the deal. OP and her boyfriend are 21 and 23 respectively, and they've been dating for the last 2.5 years, but it's literally been long distance and they have never met. So basically, they're not dating. However, the boyfriend has a well-paying job and has been traveling with his friends and his family and everything like that, and has never once mentioned wanting to visit OP. So yeah, she's mad about it. So the top comment was, yeah, he doesn't want to meet you. I don't know why that's the case, but this is not how someone acts when they want to meet you. I'm sorry to say that. NTA.
Interesting. Well, looks like you are the winner 0-1. Congrats to you, Sarah.
Woo.
Guys, please.
I needed some win today. Oh my God.
There you go. Please rate, review, subscribe.
Just got run over.
See you on Patreon. We're going to cover an update here. So, in case you missed it, AITA for refusing to give up my dream wedding dress. So, it means my fiance's family will not attend. To briefly summarize, OP basically wanted to wear this dress, but mother-in-law says she can't wear the dress because she bought the same one for her 50th birthday. They're not even the same color. They're just the same dress.
Yeah, I remember this because I don't know why it's burned into my brain, but like one was a mint green and then obviously one was white.
I don't remember the verdict that we gave here. I think, do we go?
I don't know.
Reddit?
I think we, I don't even remember because we were like, it was like basically the bride didn't want to return the wedding dress, which like understandably, I think a wedding dress should trump a birthday party dress any day of the week. And the family really just kind of circled around the mother and was like, well, we're cutting you off now. And they did that. And we were just like, well, this seems very odd and something is missing. This is not a proportionate reaction from someone whom OP admitted is usually not dramatic. So I don't think we knew what to make of it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, here's the update. I posted here a few months ago about my mother-in-law wanting to wear the same dress to her 50th that I bought for my wedding. Okay, so I didn't need to re-summarize it. She did have my dress first and the receipts to prove it. I've got a lot of mixed feedback and ultimately decided to return the dress. Whoa. It clearly triggered something massive for her. We got married a month ago and mother-in-law did agree to come. Okay, so that spoke positively after originally refusing. SFIL, stepfather-in-law, would not be swayed and sister-in-laws have been blocked on everything and did not want to hear it. I kind of wondered if she was going to pull something crazy, which isn't really her style, but this whole thing has been crazy. She was very quiet and just hung out with her ex. Mother-in-law and my husband talked a little, and she just isn't in the mind frame for a relationship right now. She is extremely hurt, and I don't get it, but she obviously needs her space. She barely spoke during the wedding. I actually reached out to stepfather-in-law, which probably wasn't my place, but he said we didn't see her sobbing in his arms. We can't get what we did to her. I know I got a lot of pushback on my decision to return the dress, and people saying it's just a birthday, but it really isn't. Yeah, she might get one every year, but a massive party for her 51st seems just a little odd. Wait, what? I'm pretty sure I just looked at the original situation and it was 50th.
It was 50th. That was the whole thing. Unless it was like it got postponed for the pandemic or something.
Yeah, it says 50th here. Well, I'm confused. I remember my mom's 50th and how much she put into that. It was like a wedding. Mother-in-law invited us to her party after uninviting us and her ex pledging to play security. Ultimately, we decided not to go because of how angry stepfather-in-law and both sister-in-laws and stepfather-in-law admitted he was uncomfortable at the thought of seeing us.
I'm dying.
The drama of this. It was
sister-in-law and stepfather-in-law and their uncle-in-law once removed.
Stop. It was too much for my husband to see his whole family there. She had her party over the weekend, and yes, I social media snooped a bit. It looked great. She looked happy. I'm at peace that I didn't get my dream dress. That's big of OP. Good. As for us, my husband is going to therapy to heal from the grief. Oh my God. He has realized.
This is what I'm saying. I'm like, what is... It's not the dress, so there's something.
What happened that I don't understand? The younger one broke down.
Seriously.
He's realized he needs to respect his sisters and they are serious. The younger one broke down sobbing and said I did the right thing, but he didn't do anything. And she can't forgive him for just letting her mom get hurt. Their mom get hurt.
What?
I still don't totally get it, but it's okay. Mother-in-law doesn't express feelings, so for some reason this was her hill to die on. She doesn't seem too interested in a relationship, so they'll have the occasional text, I guess, and everything's over. I'm happy she had a good party, and I'm looking forward to my husband healing and the rest of our lives. What the fuck?
That is nuts.
It's like, are we even talking? What are we talking about here? She got what she wanted.
Oh, I did find a comment. I thought that I posted it here, but like the only thing that I found that could perhaps illuminate this situation, okay, is a comment from Fun Times on AITA. Love that username. Here's what they say. The full picture is that mother-in-law used to be emotionally abused and treated terribly. Her triggers are linked to public events and how she's dressed. And also the mother-in-law's abuser is still in prison.
OP knew all of this before the dress incident. OP made the comments that mother-in-law would need to get over it, knowing this was a touchy subject for her and likely triggering. Everyone knew OP knew this. The mother-in-law tried to talk it out before being fully triggered, and OP refused. So they cut OP and husband off after the mother-in-law had a full panic attack. Then OP relented and tried to have the talk OP previously refused. Obviously, nobody wants to talk to her now. OP's in the comments complaining that she wants people to just talk it out, when she's the one that refused to talk it out previously. OP knew this was going to hurt the mother-in-law, and she told her, not my problem. Yeah, I can see the family cutting her and her husband out for that.
I don't know. This just...
No, I kind of still can't. Just because, like,
what?
I don't know. I'm not a mental health professional, but, like, I don't know. I think you have... Like, I don't know, if this is a triggering thing, I feel like there is onus on people to be considerate of you, but there also is on you as well to, like, I don't know, not let this ruin your whole relationship with your son.
I mean, please, yes. And like, I don't know, I'm getting very, very, the use of the word trigger here. Okay, it's like I have an eating disorder, so certain foods are a trigger. I'm like, that makes total sense. I was in a bad relationship with someone and they were weird to me about how I dress publicly, so therefore it's like, that's pretty abstract. That is a little bit different. I don't know that I buy that. And to me, it just kind of feels like you need therapy. That seems very unstable. I don't love that OP would have just said, get over it. That's not very kind. But I don't know. This family just seems...
It doesn't seem super healthy that, like, the sisters kind of just, like, I don't know. I'm literally just imagining them, like, joining a force field around the mother-in-law rather than being like, you know, Mom, maybe you should talk to someone about this.
The thing is...
And you can also be like, OP, like, this is not fucking cool, but to cut somebody off over this seems like a lot.
It's beyond ridiculous. It's sickening. I mean, come on. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. She got what she wanted, for God's sake. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, look, this goes into, and this is something I said on the bonus, and it's something I've noticed is, like, he really can't enter in other people's litigations. In other words, people get in these complex ass dynamics and they'll be like, hey, what do you think? They did this, you know, I did this, they did this. Basically, am I the asshole, right? But like for this complex dynamic, and I guarantee if you try to understand this shit, you're going to get nowhere because it doesn't add up, people. It doesn't add up. It's like, I want to wear this dress. Well, I want to wear the dress. Oh, well, I'm cutting my son out of my life. What? That doesn't add up. And when it doesn't
add up. So I'm very confused.
Well, and what I think is that when it doesn't add up, it's like, well, obviously this is about this really complex and frankly gnarly dynamic that is being, being reflected in this one particular incident. And it's like, I really can't blame OP because it just doesn't seem like her business to be involved in this, you know, frankly, wicked web. I don't know what, maybe it's not fair to call it wicked. It's just it's a sticky, icky web.
That's interesting. Yeah. What's interesting to me too is that if this really is the dynamic, then I'm wondering how OP never picked up on it before.
Right. Jolene 1892 writes, there's something seriously missing here. I wish we could get the other side of the story. This is such an extreme reaction for someone you say is normally not dramatic. I'm absolutely positive something has been left out. Could be something you're not saying, not my problem. Is that the rudest thing you said or something you don't even know? Maybe there's some sort of trauma here that you're not aware that this triggered. We always get a biased one-sided account, but this is on levels I am not used to.
Yeah, for real. This is like, it's on a level where like, we can't even try to play conspiracy detective to figure out what's really going on. I think we usually can.
Well, we gotta give the classic Hemda quote, Hemda of Keith and the Girl. We're big fans of the show, folks. You know, if it's hysterical, it's historical. You know, and so
yeah, and that's why we're trying to figure out what the history is, because I mean, nobody on Reddit is taking this at face value. Everybody is like, well, like this mother didn't make this dress from her own like body hair. I don't know. It's not that serious, the dress in and of itself. So what's the history?
Right. It's obviously about something else. And like, and I've said this before, I'm walking on dangerous ground here. Let me say this. Respect people's triggers. Of course. Oh my God. Of course. However, you do not have a right to not be triggered. And there's an important thing there, right? Like everybody should be respectful of everyone else, but you don't have a right to not be triggered. And I don't think it's a healthy way to live your life to be going around being like, well, you need to be careful about XYZ because I have triggers. It's like, no, your triggers are indicators. They are alerts. They're notifications of things that you need to work on in therapy and figure out. There's a reason you're having a big reaction to these particular things. And the answer isn't to control people around you, though they should respect you. The answer is to dig deeper and find out how you can work on those things and actively work on them.
I mean, I agree, but also, like, again, I'm not in that situation and I'm not a mental health professional, but
yes,
I do agree with what you're saying.
Yes, no, big disclaimer energy. And look, I'm not necessarily saying that, like, if something horrible happened to you and then someone is being, know, I'm talking about something as simple as a dress where it's like, well, look, you're freaking out about a dress here. So what's really going on? So anyway, whatever. AITA for refusing to give up my dream wedding dress, though, it means my fiance's family will not attend. Can we just give...
We agree. We're still mystified.
Yeah, I was going to say, we agree. This is a clusterfuck. That's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even...
We'll never know. I don't think we'll ever know the answer.
I mean, there's a few things because I could be like, well, I don't like how mother-in-law is treating the son. I don't. I could be like, I don't really like how OP talked to mom that way about this dress that she had first. I don't. But in the end... You know, it just seems like something is going on here. What
I also don't like about it is that the mother reconciled, but the sisters like won't get over it. And I don't like when people do that, where it's like, it's not your fight to keep fighting anymore.
No,
it's over, and you need to let it go.
That has flying monkey vibes, which is like people.
What?
You never heard about the flying monkeys? Well, yeah, it's been kind of appropriated by personality disorder culture, and the flying monkeys are people that work on behalf of like a narcissist or whatever. And so, the narcissist will kind of manipulate you by proxy by sending their flying monkeys. So then they get to play that game of being like, well, it's fine with me, but then they're telling the flying monkeys to do whatever they need to do.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yep. So anyway, talk to me about the personality disorder forums that I binged for months and months. Anyways, Clusterfuck City. Now we're going to go...
Population us.
Yeah, right. Now we're going to go to a situation here with our esteemed listener, Alina. We welcome Alina to the show. Alina, thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately, Sarah had to dip out for a minute, but she'll be back, folks. Don't you worry. Alina, what's going on with you? You told me you're having an epic Halloween. What's up?
Having a good Halloween, going to a costume party.
Ooh.
Made my own costume.
Ooh.
It's actually it's a costume I made in like 2014, but I'm going to recycle it for this year.
Wow. So. Okay. I don't think you need to tell people at the party that, but so hit us. What is the costume?
So I took a gray dress and some like felt fabric and turned it into the old school Game Boy.
The original Game Boy, big old gray blocky Game Boy.
Yep. I still have one that works actually, which is crazy, but yeah, so doing that,
That's
doing
incredible.
kind of a couple's costume.
Yeah, you said it was easy for your boyfriend. What'd you set him up with? Tetris?
No, so he's just going to be the nerd that owns the Game Boy.
Oh my God, too easy. So you just got to put on some glasses and pinch his nose?
Pretty much, yeah. I bought the glasses today and he's just, polo tucked in, maybe get like a pen, put it in the pocket or whatever.
I love that.
Yeah. So
very cute. Very cute.
Thank you.
Cute outfit, GF. Bare bones effort, BF. This is just a recipe for success. If you're asking me, speaking of low effort boifs, we're about to cover AITA for not wanting to get my girlfriend a quote unquote expensive engagement ring. I, 26M, have been with my girlfriend 26F for 4 years, and we've recently been talking more and more about marriage, sorry, being stupid. Although my GF grew up relatively well off. For the time I've known her, she's been pretty low maintenance. She's never cared about designer brands, rarely buys new clothes, and the jewelry she owns was gifted to her. I have a decent job now, $80K a year, and I've been saving for a while. But growing up, my family didn't have a lot of money. My GF and I have always seemed to be on the same page when it comes to saving money. I assumed she would be fine with a more affordable ring. When I started to look into rings, I discovered moissanite rings, which look similar to diamond rings but are much more affordable. I was looking at rings in the $1,500 to $1,800 range. When I mentioned this to her, she insisted she wanted a real diamond ring and sent me links to a bunch of diamond rings that she liked. The prices range from $6,500 to $10,000, also known as $100. Insane. I told her I wasn't willing to spend that much. She seemed genuinely mad and said it wasn't quote unquote that expensive. We got in a pretty big argument over it. I told her that it was ridiculous to ask me to spend that much and that I thought she was more reasonable than that. She said I was being cheap and that I could afford it and that I was basically saying she wasn't worth it. Yikes. I told her no one is worth a $10,000 ring. What about Beyonce, OP? You didn't think about Beyonce. I don't know about that. Eventually, my GF said, this is long. Eventually, my GF said she didn't care and that I should get whatever ring I want, but she's clearly still mad, and I know this is going to be an ongoing argument. I'm a bit frustrated because this seems out of left field. I've always known marriage is super important, but I didn't realize she'd insist on her diamond ring. Really? You didn't think she'd insist on the most common kind of ring? Whatever. So I talked to my older sis about it, who despite agreeing diamond rings were stupidly priced, sided with GF and said if I could afford it, she didn't see the big deal. She added that my GF has done quote unquote so much for me and I was being an asshole. What my sister means by my GF, quote unquote, doing so much for me is that she was supportive when I was in a serious car accident 4 years ago. Isn't that right when they would have started dating, right? Because this relationship is 4 years old. Wild. Okay. I broke multiple bones and required a few surgeries, although where I live, most healthcare is covered. I was unable to work and had expenses I wasn't able to pay. I'd been dating her for only 6 months at the time, and she was really there for me. I couldn't pay my rent, so she let me move in with her for free and help pay for a few expenses and for physical therapy. She also helped me get a job with her uncle, who is the VP of an insurance company. It was an entry-level position. I had a business degree, so it's not like I was unqualified. Obviously, I've thanked her for all she did for me, but it's not something we talk about much. I don't think I'm obligated to buy an expensive ring because she helped me out a few years ago. But if my own sister said this, I'm guessing my GF must feel that way as well. AITA. Wow.
There is so much to address. So I know what the moissanite, I think that's how it's pronounced. Yeah. I know about those. Right. They're fairly similar to diamonds. They definitely have a different sparkle. They kind of shine like rainbowy, which some people don't like the reflection on it.
Right.
I mean, you can get diamond rings that are around that price range of, he was saying like $1,600, $1,800. Like you can find a nice diamond ring for like $2,000. If you aren't, it depends on how much of a carat she wants. If she wants to walk around with a 3-carat diamond ring, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you're willing to settle for something that's not like gonna like blind people, then I mean, I don't want to just I feel like there's so much I'm skipping over, but I feel like there's kind of like a meet in the middle kind of, they definitely should go ring shopping together.
Absolutely.
See what the options are. Talk to a jeweler about it. She was wanting, what you said, like $10,000. It's
a lot.
I mean, it's a lot of, you said he made like 80,000?
80,000 American dollars a year. That's what he said. I mean, I'm already kind of with you. I think we're kind of on the same page here because I don't really care what she wants. If she had said 20 grand, I would have said that's a lot. Also, she had said 5 grand, I would have said, well, maybe just pucker up. But it doesn't really matter, right? You got two people with two different expectations. There is a tradition. We live in a culture, and there's cultural traditions that exist. What is a tradition? I think we're all thinking about it. It's a 3 months gross salary rule. The 3 months gross salary rule is a thing that people think is real, but is really just kind of whatever. If you want to follow it, You follow it. If a man makes 80 grand a year, he should spend 20 grand on an engagement ring. That's what the 3-month rule says. Alina, you're shaking your head. What does that mean?
That just, I don't, not to say that I don't want a nice, pretty ring one day, but I feel like she's placing too much value on that. And I feel like she's measuring his love by money. I don't know what their future plans are. I don't know what kind of life they live. And when I look at $10,000, that's just money that could be put elsewhere. That's not just something that you look at on your hand.
Right.
It just, I mean, like, find a middle ground there. They need to find a compromise, because if he thinks that she's asking too much and she thinks he's trying to lowball it, then either two people are going to be unhappy, or one person's going to be really unhappy, or
right.
two people can, give a little.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm very with you. I think this is very simple. I actually don't think anyone's being an asshole. I think this is a straightforward meet in the middle, folks. That's it. This is really, it seems like a special expense, but it's really not. It's just a couple expense, just like going on a vacation or buying a house or splitting the rent. Like, it happens to come with the magic of a wedding and getting married, but really it is kind of just a practical thing. It's part of a tradition. So they both agree they're going to get a ring. He starts at $2K, or no, he starts at $1,500. I do think that's very low. I mean, I have friends that are pretty damn poor, and I think they would go well above that. This guy makes like pretty good money. I mean, 80 grand is like nothing to snooze at.
But some people don't, I don't know. I've seen some guys that just don't think that that's that low, especially for what you could get, because he may not understand the difference with the diamond and the other stone, because it's a totally different stone.
Right.
It's just, that looks nice to him. He probably just doesn't understand the subtle nuance of, like, he punches it in, he sees this gorgeous ring, and he's like, oh, wow, that's only $1,500. Like, my girlfriend probably loved that. It looks beautiful. And if we don't have to break the bank on it, then that's just even better. He may not even really be thinking that much into it. It's not like he's trying to, like, lowball her and be like, well, I think you only deserve this. Because I think she's taking it really personally. She's internalizing the amount he wants to spend.
Right.
And translating that into his love.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's not a healthy way of looking at this negotiation. Can just be Lancelot writes, gentle YTA. I get not wanting to spend your money like that, but by saying no one is worth 10 grand, you have inadvertently assigned monetary value to the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with. You both should sit down and look at alternatives together. Don't frame it as her not being worth it. Try to educate her on the ethical nature of the diamond trade and see if she wants an alternative. That's not OP's objection at all, though. That just has nothing to do with it. They're putting words in OP's mouth. He never said anything about having an issue with diamonds and blood diamonds or anything.
Yeah.
He could have. That would have been a better, stronger way to go. But instead, he's just like, I'm not spending that much.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with they should sit down and do this together. I don't know what kind of other expenses they have. I mean, $80,000 isn't bad, but I mean, does he have debt from that accident?
Right.
Hospital bills,
degree,
anything else? Any student debt, stuff that it may not be as simple as, do they own 2 cars? Do they have both their cars? What's their rent look like?
Right. Meet King of Chicago, top 50 username. OP doesn't give a shit about blood diamonds. He cares that it costs a lot. I'm not saying he's wrong. 10K is a lot, but the girlfriend is smart. She's not going to be fooled by a sudden serious concern at how unethical diamonds are. Did OP say something about the ethics? Am I missing something?
Was that just a reply to the other person's comment?
Oh, maybe.
Because I don't remember any.
Yeah, they didn't say that. Wandering Scholar, yep, YTA, I agree, OP, 6K is a stupid amount to spend on a ring, but everybody's allowed to have one stupid thing. For her, it's a fancy ring. This isn't a pattern of her wanting expensive stuff for no reason. It's one thing. I mean, it's just a tradition. It's a tradition that spans, like, what, almost a century to get these rings and get diamonds. People are used to it.
I mean, he just clearly doesn't think the same way about it. And the fact that he said, no one's worth $10,000, I don't think he meant that no one's worth that. I think he meant, no one needs to have $10,000 walking around on their hand, banging on stuff, washing the dish. I mean, I think that's more what he was going for. Not that like, well, we're not going to get a house that's over $10,000 because you don't deserve that, or you shouldn't get a car that's over $10,000 because you don't personally deserve something that costs that much. I think it's the object itself.
Right. Yeah, I think for me, it's kind of more about, you know, the underlying values and stuff like that. I think that's where I start to run into problems here, because it's like, I don't know why you need something so expensive on your finger. What are you trying to prove? Well, like, what's that about? You know? So I understand wanting a ring. I understand wanting a nice ring. But once you start to get into the thousands of dollar range, personally, I start to wonder, like, do we have the same values? Do we want the same things? I mean, it depends on so much, though, like you're saying, right? Like, if it's like we already owned a house, or like whatever, we have more than enough for a down payment, we each have our own car. It's kind of like, well, yeah, you want a fancy ring, and what else are we going to spend money on? Why not? Like, we're fine. So it really just depends on the couple and their goals, how irrational the shiny ring made of real diamonds is.
I'm so surprised that we've gotten this far in the episode and you haven't said yet, money is real.
Money is real. There it is.
Money is real. I don't want to say, God, I almost want to put this at an info, but I guess not. It'd be info/no assholes here. I don't think that anyone did anything wrong. I think it's two people with very differing opinions on something that somehow in 4 years they haven't discussed already, which is a little surprising. I guess not totally, but yeah, it's just a little shocking that their ideas are $10,000 difference. It's not like he's like, oh, I thought like 3,000. And she's like, oh, I was thinking more like, 5 or 6. But it's like such a vast difference.
Very
that
vast.
It really is kind of surprising.
Absolutely. I mean, they're also fairly young. They're only 26. And then I don't really buy all this nonsense. Oh, she was there for you in the car accident. No, that doesn't affect the ring price. Like, that's getting too swept up in the emotions of it. Like, this needs to be negotiated and talked about. Both people need to be happy with it. And it might come down to a difference of values, but it kind of does seem to me like, I thought you explained this well. Like, if he has medical debt and he has debt from business school, like, this kind of might be a little bit crazier than it sounds, especially if they live in an expensive area. It really kind of depends. If you live in like Topeka, Kansas, I'm sure 80 grand you're balling out. But
yeah, no, I thought that's almost why I just didn't even bring it up. It just seemed like such a tit for tat of, I did this for you once, so now you have to do, like, that's not what a relationship is. You do something because you love someone. You don't do it because you expect something in return in the future. It's not like you don't get to throw things back in their face just because you did something when you chose to do it.
Very true. Very true. I think we agree on this. AITA for not wanting to get my girlfriend an expensive engagement ring. I think we're both going no assholes here, with info on the side and a little bit of money is real dressing.
I agree. That sounds perfect. A ridiculous verdict, but perfect.
Alina, I wish you a very happy Halloween. It will be in the past when we release this episode. And all I ask from you now is that you do your impression of the Game Boy startup sound.
Oh, man, you can't put me on the spot like this.
I don't know. I don't really know it either. I can't remember how it goes.
I just have like the Tetris song stuck in my head.
All right, we'll accept
school.
that. We'll accept that. Here we go. Hit us. Tetris song. Play us out.
Oh, man. The do 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 do.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and we're gonna wrap up here on AITA for refusing to give up my seat on a flight due to a person who has a guide dog and is visiting a family member in a hospital due to the fact that I have a dog allergy. Okay, did you need to put the whole situation in the title, OP? What is going on?
I know, you're right. Come on, like, you gotta leave us something.
I won't be going into specifics since I'd rather avoid being identified. Okay, we get it. Then why is the title?
But it's like a 4-paragraph situation.
God damn. I have a severe dog allergy. I can have varying disease of severity when it comes to my reactions when I'm exposed to dogs. Wow, this makes me sad. Imagine seeing a dog and being like, no. In short, being in a closed environment with a dog is out of the question. Earlier today, I was boarding my flight with my friends since we're all going on vacay together. As I'm boarding, I find that one of the passengers is boarding with a golden retriever with a guide dog vest on it. I want to make it clear, I'm not questioning whether this was a guide dog or not. This was also a fairly small plane since the flight would only take around an hour. As mentioned, I cannot be in a confined space with a dog. I told one of the flight attendants my concern since I could have potentially ended up in hospital if I had to fly with this dog. The flight attendant informed the woman with the dog, who goes into hysterics, saying that she is visiting a sick family member and can't afford to miss her flight. I'm not sure how sick the family member question was. The flight attendant asked if I'd be willing to miss this flight and catch the next one. I would be leaving around 2 hours. I was offered a seat in first class if I was willing to do this. I said that I wouldn't be able to since I'd paid for my vacation. What? That doesn't really add up. Due to the size of the plane, the dog would not be able to go in the hold. The woman started insulting my character, saying that I was heartless for putting my vacation over her sick family member. I got on the plane and sat with my friends. As I did this, a woman in a nearby seat told me that she wanted to inform that, quote, I am the biggest biatch that she's ever met. I didn't respond since I didn't want to cause a confrontation. My friends haven't said I'm in the wrong, but have kept making sarcastic jokes about the situation. AITA.
Oof. Wow. This is kind of bumming me out that this would even happen.
I'm a little confused because there's a comment here, and this is exactly where my head went. Deb's right. YESYTA, an announcement of a severe allergy needs to be raised at the airline long before sitting on the plane.
I agree. And so does having a guide dog, which I assume this woman told them. So that's kind of nuts that the woman who had declared her service animal was the one getting bumped. But I know that sometimes rules about the service animals can be like tricky and weird. So
yeah,
that sucks.
And
also that sucks. I don't know how it works either, because I know like usually if you're going to bring the dog on the plane with you, they have to fit in the seat,
right,
like in front of you under the seat. But obviously a golden retriever, unless it's a puppy, is not really going to do that.
I think my biggest kind of qualm is OP's logic is really odd here. I was offered a seat in first class if I was willing to wait 2 hours, and I said that unfortunately I wouldn't because I paid for my vacation. That doesn't add up. Those things are not connected.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, well, I paid for my vacation and I want to get the most of it. And it's like, that is truly heartless, though.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, so...
Especially because you get a free upgrade.
Right. Well, so I guess, so then, I guess here's the thing is like, how put out was this person? So what, is the person going to die? I don't know. They're kind of equal.
We don't know when...
Well, but
we don't know when the next... I guess it's like, she didn't stay to follow up.
No, 2 hours. 2 hours. The next one will be leaving in around 2 hours.
Oh.
So OP really only put this other person in the same situation that they were expected to be on.
Yeah, assuming they didn't have like a connecting flight or anything like that, which I'm going to go ahead and assume is not the case.
I feel like it was a pretty equal thing. Just I'm not going to be inconvenienced. And I gotta say, clearly, I'm assuming I'm giving OP some grace here. This person wasn't blind. So this really was kind of a service dog. And look, I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to shift.
Damn, really?
I guess I feel like, look, I get it. Anxiety. Some people have these dogs. If it was a blind person, forget it. Then I would be like, you're an asshole. They need that dog.
Obviously.
They need that dog.
I'm like, what is a guide dog? To me, like, a guide dog is different than an emotional service animal, like very different. And I don't even know what else guide dogs are like used
I guess,
for.
well, but I would think OP would note because gosh, I guess
well, it said guide dog.
You're right. OP said guide dog. No, if it's a guide dog, forget it. then it's.
And I feel like emotional service animals, you don't even put anything on them because like, it's just a piece of paper that your doctor can write.
Okay.
Right?
No, I mean, I think you have me because if it's a guide dog, I really can't, I mean, come on.
Okay. Emotional. I'm like trying to Google emotional support animal versus guide dog. Ugh.
Wonder if OP.
I mean, I know that there are different things like the support animal can just like help with anxiety and things like that. I mean, it really is just emotional support. Whereas a guide dog, like you need it to get around.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I mean, there is become a culture of like, I'm bringing my pet with me everywhere. And like,
yeah,
I get it.
There is and of also just people like pretending that their dog is a service animal or a support animal so that they can like have it in their apartment and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even without guide dog, I have to say OP just doesn't really have a good reason. It's 2 hours. You're going to first class. This person is visiting a dying person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're not getting to go with their friends, but I'm like, gosh, if the dog...
That's what I'm okay, here's the thing. I guess if it really just was like an emotional support animal, I don't know if I would say no assholes here, but then I feel like once you hear this person's reason, and like, sure, they could be making it up, but honestly, if this person is willing to cry on command to get on a flight, I think you should give it to them. I think you should let them have that seat. So
Did they cry? I missed that.
yeah, it said she got hysterical, and like, I mean, that to me means crying, but maybe I'm just interpreting it weird.
No way, Sarah. That's not crying. Hysterical's like, oh my God, no, I'm going. That's hysterical. I don't think that means crying.
Oh, okay. Well, when I think hysterical, I think hysterically crying. So maybe that's just my fault. But I think it's still like dickish to like, because like OP is kind of like implying this whole time that she thinks this lady is full of shit. Like, she's like, I'm not questioning whether this was a guide dog or not. And also like, I'm not sure how sick her family member is/was. Like, yeah, you're not that family member's doctor. This is a total stranger. You're never going to know. So I don't really, like, I think that's kind of dickish, and it's like, you would have sacrificed pretty much nothing. Your stakes here are super low, and you would have gotten a perk.
I'm just confused at how it could work. I mean, in my view, I want to know, did the lady disclose the dog? Because that actually does change things for me, right? Why is it, so apparently the airline policy, if we're going to believe this, is allergy instantly trumps dog. And that doesn't make sense to me, because it should.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Especially if OP didn't declare it, then I kind of feel like, well, you snooze, you lose on that one. Like, that's your occupational hazard of not declaring this allergy. So
exactly.
We can kind of help you.
But if neither of them declared, then I'm like, well, no, now both of you are kind of going to impose on others. And
Yeah,
that doesn't seem
that's
very
true.
thoughtful to me. Obviously, dog allergies. I think dog allergies are out there, you know. Some people also.
Hey, what do you mean you think? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I mean, well, how common is a dog? I don't really hear. I hear about cat allergies more, and I hear about nut allergies 10 times more. So I mean, they're out there though.
This is my emotional support peanut.
Yeah, right. But like, yeah, I don't know. And then I'm like, well, that's kind of a selfish move to, you know, be going on a plane with your dog, knowing that you might put some people out. But then I'm like, the onus is also on you as the allergy person.
I just don't think, like, I have never flown with a dog, but I have enough friends who've flown with pets that I just don't think that you can show up there with the surprise dog, because there's only like so much room in the cargo if you go that route. There's also only like so much room on the plane. Like, I'm sure they have some kind of limit. Every person can't bring their lap dog. So I personally don't really think that you can just go there without having told the airline that you're going to bring an animal.
I would think so, right? There's no way.
And I think if that was the case, I remember seeing that story. Do you remember this, about this woman who tried to bring an emotional support peacock on the plane?
Right, yeah.
And then they were like, okay, we're cracking down on this. This has gotten out of hand. So, and she obviously wasn't allowed on the flight. So I kind of feel like if that's the case, then it would be like, no question. They would be like, well, we didn't know that you had this dog. So like, you got to get on the next one.
Yeah, no, I'm looking here. I don't think so, Sarah. I think you can just show up. You can check your dog. It literally says here.
Really?
Yep, regulations require animals traveling as checked baggage. So you just check them like baggage. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's that special. You don't need any documents. You don't need a ticket, as far as I can see.
But like, if you're gonna bring the dog in the cabin, what about that?
No, that's in the cabin. Checked baggage. You're not putting it with the.
No, not under the plane, but like in the plane with you.
Oh, I can you put the dog with the under the plane? I don't think so.
Wait, yeah.
I thought, I don't really know what.
Dogs can go in the cargo holds. Animals can go like in the cargo holds, which would be like the checked situation. Or they can come, if they're like small enough, they can come on the flight with you and be like under the seat in front of you.
Oh, I always get confused about the checking.
It is confusing because I am too cheap to ever check.
Oh, it's the best when you don't check anything. Anyway, let's not get bogged down in the airplane. I think this person made an impulsive choice. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. Like, it was an asshole choice to make.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm struggling. I kind of understand why they made it. They doubled down. I think it's bizarre that the airplane would have an instant allergy trumps pet set rule. That doesn't seem fair to me. But in the end, it's like,
Yeah, that's weird.
it's weird. It's like, oh, gotcha. I mean, like, would you just do this to someone you hated? Get on a plane, you know, the lady pisses you off. Oh, I'm allergic to dogs. Oh, she's screwed. Like,
Very expensive prank.
yeah, it doesn't ring true with me. So, nonetheless, playing it roughly as it lays, it just doesn't really seem like OP needed to be in that much of a rush. And I do think that both of these individuals have a responsibility to, you know, notify the airplane and let them coordinate, because shit can happen with dogs and allergies.
Yeah.
AITA for refusing to give him my seat on a flight due to the guide dog person, whatever, family and longest submission title ever. I think we agree.
Oof.
YTA.
Yep, we do. I was actually not sure where you were going to go at the end with that, but I'm glad we agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's too much working against OP on the info side. Like, if it really was an emotional support animal and not a guide dog, that would help. And if they were overstating the case of the sick relative, that would help. But, like, in the end...
Yeah, but, like, we will never know that.
Exactly. I'm kind of going by the optics, and I feel like the optics are reasonable.
Yeah, agree.
All right, guys. Well, that is the ep. Thank you so much for listening. We'd really appreciate it if you rate, review, and subscribe. Throw something nice in the forum. Throw a submission in the forum, AITApod.com. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITApod. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the show, and much love, and we'll see you next Monday morning, baby.